Tomorrow, December 28, 2025, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and former U.S. President Donald Trump will meet in Florida, a moment that could alter the course of a brutal, years-long war. The world's attention is fixed on this unprecedented summit, as anticipation and uncertainty ripple across continents. The world is watching as the stakes extend far beyond Ukraine, threatening the stability of Europe and the global order. From bustling city squares to quiet living rooms, millions are glued to their screens, waiting for any sign of hope or resolution. This isn't just another diplomatic meeting, it's a high-stakes gamble with the potential to reshape history. The decisions made here could echo for generations, influencing not only the fate of Ukraine, but the balance of power worldwide. Zelenskyy, the face of Ukrainian resistance, has rallied his nation and the world, while Trump, though out of office, remains a powerful and unpredictable force in U.S. politics. Their personal styles and political philosophies could not be more different, adding another layer of intrigue to this historic encounter. Trump has long claimed he could end the war in 24 hours, a boast now put to the test. His supporters see him as a deal-maker, while critics question whether his approach can bring real peace. The war has dragged on for nearly 4 years, exacting a terrible human toll and fueling global anxiety. Families have been torn apart, cities reduced to rubble, and the world's patience is wearing thin. The announcement of this summit sent shockwaves through international capitals, raising hopes and fears in equal measure. Diplomats scramble behind the scenes, while ordinary people dare to imagine an end to the violence. The path to this moment has been complex, filled with shifting alliances and relentless violence. Every move has been scrutinized, every word analyzed, as the world wonders what will come next. The outcome is uncertain. Will this be the beginning of the end, or just another chapter in a long, painful saga? The stakes could not be higher, and the risks are enormous. The world holds its breath as these two leaders prepare to meet. Every gesture, every word will be dissected for meaning, as the world hopes for a breakthrough. Tomorrow's conversation could change everything. The hopes of millions rest on what happens next. To understand the gravity of this meeting, we must remember how the war began. Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022 shattered decades of peace in Europe. What started as a rapid assault has become a grinding war of attrition, with millions displaced and cities reduced to rubble. Ukraine's resilience, led by Zelenskyy and backed by Western aid, has defied expectations. Yet as the war enters its 4th year, unity among Ukraine's allies is fraying, and war fatigue is setting in. The conflict has become a defining battle between authoritarianism and sovereignty, but the cost is mounting. With the war now at a stalemate, the push for a diplomatic breakthrough has never been more urgent. The Zelenskyy-Trump meeting could be a pivotal moment in a conflict that has already reshaped the world. Zelenskyy arrives in Florida with a single, unwavering goal: to secure Ukraine's future as a sovereign, independent nation. His visit is not just another diplomatic trip, it's a mission shaped by the urgency of war and the hopes of millions back home. Every step he takes on American soil is a reminder of the stakes involved, and the weight of his country's expectations rests heavily on his shoulders. He seeks a just and lasting peace, one that doesn't sacrifice territory or Ukraine's right to self-determination. For Zelenskyy, peace cannot mean compromise at the expense of his nation's integrity. He envisions a future where Ukraine's borders are respected and its people are free to choose their own destiny, without fear of foreign domination. Security guarantees are at the top of his agenda, not just promises, but binding commitments from the U.S. and allies to deter future Russian aggression. Zelenskyy knows that only concrete, enforceable agreements can truly protect Ukraine from renewed threats. He is determined to secure a safety net that will last beyond the headlines and political cycles. Zelenskyy wants a formal framework, a shield for Ukraine that goes beyond words. He's pushing for written agreements, not just verbal assurances, to ensure Ukraine's security is recognized and defended by the world's most powerful nations. Economic survival is equally critical. The war has left cities in ruins, industries disrupted, and families struggling to rebuild their lives. Without a strong economic foundation, even the most robust security guarantees will fall short. The war has devastated Ukraine's economy, and Zelenskyy will push for long-term aid, investment, and access to frozen Russian assets for reconstruction. He's seeking not just emergency relief, but a comprehensive plan for recovery, one that will help Ukraine stand on its own feet and thrive in the years ahead. He must show his people there's hope for prosperity after the war. Rebuilding schools, hospitals, and homes is as important as winning on the battlefield. Zelenskyy wants to inspire confidence that a better future is possible. Navigating Trump's unpredictable style, Zelenskyy must insist on peace that doesn't come at the cost of Ukraine's sovereignty. He faces the challenge of making Ukraine's case clear, even as U.S. politics shift and alliances are tested. He seeks a partner for peace, one who respects Ukraine's sacrifices and its right to exist as a free, democratic nation. Zelenskyy's vision is not just about ending the war, but about building a lasting partnership based on mutual respect and shared values. The stakes for Zelenskyy are existential. Every decision is measured in the lives of his people. Each negotiation, each handshake, could determine the fate of generations to come. This meeting is a test of whether Ukraine's future can be secured through diplomacy, or if the struggle for freedom will continue on the battlefield. For Zelenskyy, failure is not an option. He carries the hopes of a nation with him into every room. For Donald Trump, this summit represents more than just another diplomatic event. It's a stage to showcase his deal-making prowess and fulfill his campaign promise to end the war swiftly. Trump sees this as a defining moment, an opportunity to demonstrate that his unique approach can succeed where others have stalled. He's long argued that American interests must come first, often questioning the scale and effectiveness of U.S. aid to Ukraine. Trump has repeatedly urged European allies to step up and share more of the financial and military burden, insisting that America should not bear the costs alone. Trump's likely goal is to broker a deal that reduces U.S. commitments abroad and delivers a headline-grabbing peace agreement. He wants to be seen as the leader who can bring adversaries to the table and secure results quickly, even if it means making tough compromises. He may push for a rapid ceasefire, even if it means freezing current battle lines, a controversial move for Ukraine, which could be seen as conceding territory. Critics warn this approach risks legitimizing aggression, but Trump believes speed is essential to stop the bloodshed. The specifics of his plan remain secret, closely guarded by his inner circle. What's clear is that Trump's focus is on speed and spectacle, prioritizing a dramatic breakthrough over the finer points of international law or long-term stability. For Trump, a successful negotiation would be a major political triumph, reinforcing his image as a master dealmaker and energizing his supporters ahead of the next election. He's motivated by the prospect of a historic peace accord attributed to his intervention, hoping to cement his legacy on the world stage. Whether this vision truly aligns with Ukraine's needs and aspirations, however, remains deeply uncertain. Ukrainian leaders face difficult choices, balancing their own security with the pressure to accept a quick deal. Trump's approach is all about fast results and bold moves, not necessarily the painstaking work of building long-term stability or addressing the root causes of the conflict. The world will be watching closely to see if his brand of high-stakes diplomacy can deliver real, lasting peace, or if it will simply create new uncertainties for the future. The talks will center on three pillars: security guarantees, a pathway to peace, and long-term economic support. For Ukraine, binding security commitments are non-negotiable, a treaty-like pact to deter future Russian aggression. Reports suggest a streamlined 20-point framework is on the table, the product of intense back-channel diplomacy. The peace deal itself is the hardest part. Will Ukraine be asked to cede territory, or can a compromise be found? Trump may push for a freeze along current front lines, while Zelenskyy insists on full sovereignty. Economic recovery is the third pillar. Ukraine needs a robust reconstruction fund, fueled by international aid, investment, and seized Russian assets. Rebuilding infrastructure and attracting foreign investment are essential for Ukraine's long-term resilience. These elements are deeply interconnected. Security, peace, and prosperity must come together for any deal to last. The challenge: finding common ground on each pillar without sacrificing Ukraine's core interests. Tomorrow's negotiations will test whether such a balance is possible. This summit is the climax of weeks of intense diplomacy. Zelenskyy has coordinated closely with NATO and European allies, ensuring he doesn't face Trump alone. Recent calls with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte and back-channel talks with Trump's advisors have laid the groundwork. These efforts give Zelenskyy's proposals added weight and signal broad international support. Engaging Trump's inner circle is a savvy move, clarifying expectations before the leaders meet. The path to peace is a complex dance involving many partners with competing interests. Every conversation, from Brussels to private calls, shapes the larger puzzle. Zelenskyy knows any deal with Trump must have international backing to endure. The world's eyes are on Florida, but the outcome will ripple far beyond. As Western diplomacy intensifies, Russia sends mixed signals, talking peace while waging war. Publicly, Kremlin envoys speak of constructive talks, projecting reasonableness to the world. Yet, on the ground, Russian forces continue brutal attacks, targeting civilians and infrastructure. This calculated ambiguity is strategic. It sows confusion among Ukraine's allies and complicates negotiations. Moscow's dual approach, diplomacy and violence, keeps adversaries off balance. For Zelenskyy, negotiating with a party whose words and actions diverge so sharply is a profound challenge. The deep mistrust between sides is a major obstacle to any lasting agreement. Overcoming this will be essential if tomorrow's talks are to yield real progress. For Ukrainians, this meeting is a fragile glimmer of hope after nearly 4 years of relentless war. The possibility of peace means an end to daily fear, loss, and suffering, a chance to rebuild shattered lives. Millions have been displaced, families torn apart, and cities devastated. A real peace process could allow families to reunite and children to return to school without fear. Globally, the war has disrupted economies, fueled a refugee crisis, and revived Cold War tensions. A breakthrough would bring stability not just to Ukraine, but to the world. The stakes are deeply personal for millions, and the world is watching for a sign that peace is possible. This meeting is more than politics. It's a desperate plea for a future beyond war. As the world waits, the question is, what happens next? The best-case scenario is a clear framework for peace, an immediate ceasefire, followed by tough negotiations on territory, security, and Russian withdrawal. Success would require intense international pressure to bring Russia to the table and ensure compliance. If only vague promises emerge, disappointment will be widespread, and the war could intensify as both sides seek leverage. The outcome will reshape the conflict's dynamics, for better or worse. A breakthrough could end Europe's bloodiest war in generations. Failure could entrench it further. The stakes are immense, and tomorrow's talks will set the stage for Ukraine's next chapter. Negotiation or continued bloodshed, everything hinges on what happens in Florida. The world is watching, and history will remember what unfolds next.